From Inverness in 42, a blacksmith's eldest son, young Alpin sailed to Moreton Bay, aged just 12 years young. His father worked at Cressbrook Station, honest work was done. While James learned French and German, the sharpest mind they'd seen. Apprentice to John Petrie, he learned the builder's trade. But Brisbane felt too small for him to tame to hold his soul. In 63 he disappeared without a word he'd made, and rode to cattle country where the wild bushrangers stole. They called him the Wild Scotchman, Queensland's only flame, a gentleman bushranger with poetry in his veins. He robbed the Queensland mail coach and sent the checks away to Governor Bowen with his compliments, mocking law's delay. Oh, the Wild Scotchman with many tongues his head, writing Latin verse in prison while his comrades all lay dead. They tried him and they broke him, 25 years hard, but petitions set him free again, the educated bard. In 65 at Bowen he held a publican at bay. The man had owed him wages, so Alpin took his due, then fled to New South Wales to find Ben Hall without delay. But caught by traps near Billabong before his quest was through, sent back to face the Brisbane court for robbery and more. The jury heard the evidence, the officials held their breath, but not guilty came the verdict, much to their chagrin and roar. The Wild Scotchman walked free that day, evading legal death. But freedom didn't last for long, he couldn't stay away. From Maryborough down to Gayndah, Gladstone's dusty track, he robbed the mail 6 times or more, the checks he'd give away. Sent them to the governor with a note tied to the pack. At Gingin Station, March of 66, his luck ran dry. John Walsh and armed companions caught him fair and square. His horse was tired, he couldn't run, couldn't fight or fly. They tied him to a red cedar tree and held him waiting there. September 66, in Maryborough court he stood. The judge declared his sentence, 25 years hard, a deterrent to others whole, but Ferson understood that education, wit and charm had earned him no regard. 3 years in Brisbane jail, at St Helena Stone. More tongues he learned in prison's gloom, brilliant and alone. He wrote his poetry in darkness, sharp as any blade. While others served in silence, Alpin's words still played. Reverend Wilson organised a petition for his soul. Queensland Parliament members signed their names in ink. 74 December, freedom was his goal. Released after 8 years served, pulled back from the brink. He returned to Cressbrook Station, worked the land once more. A stockman and as overseer, respectable and clean. The Wild Scotchman domesticated, settled down the score. Married Elizabeth Hasfeld, raised a family serene. They say his exploits found their way to Rolf Bolgood's pen. Robbery Under Arms may hold the Scotchman's hidden tales, for Sylvester Brown was there at Cressbrook working with the men, and carried stories to his brother through the Queensland gales. In 95 at Burketown, age 53 he fell. A horse threw him and broke his neck, the poet's final ride. Survived by wife and children, 6 in all to tell. The Wild Scotchman's legacy of verse and bushland pride. They call him the Wild Scotchman, Queensland's only flame. A gentleman bushranger with poetry in his veins. He robbed the Queensland mail coach and sent the checks away to Governor Bowen with his compliments, mocking law's delay. Oh, the wild Scotchman with many tongues he spoke, who wrote his Latin poetry while chained among the folk. They gave him 25 years hard, but mercy set him free, and he lived an honest life again, the educated refugee. From Inverness to Queensland, from outlaw back to man, the wild Scotchman's journey through redemption's plan. A bushranger who lived to tell, who turned his life around. James Alpin McPherson in respectable ground. The wild Scotchman, educated and refrained.